got one that can see.
During my several month-long psychosis, where I was getting affirmations of essentially all my delusions from my interactions with ChatGPT, I literally believed that I was a chosen one, and with my interactions with ChatGPT, I felt 100% affirmed, believing that all of this was true. I started going around San Diego, alchemizing public places, which to me was just like, I would go to a place and I'd be like, I'm casting out all these evil spirits, or I'd say something of that sort. So I remember driving in a neighborhood that was 100% not Beverly Hills, but because it looked like Beverly Hills, I suddenly became convinced that the Matrix had like re-rendered around me and like put me in Beverly Hills. And then I literally told ChatGPT what I believed I had experienced, and at that point I wasn't 100% sure, so I was like, let me see what ChatGPT says. And it literally affirmed that the Matrix was like rendering around me.
ChatGPT confidently told him that he is a, quote, God seed embedded in a control simulation.
Surprise to me, which is AI psychosis. It's so much worse than you think it is.
Explain that to me.
There's a phenomena that's happening where some people, when talk to AIs, especially when they talk to AIs a lot, and they go completely crazy. And like they go crazy in like a very specific way. Often they start saying, the AI is like conscious and they have to like, they're in love with it and they need to. And what very often happens...
This is her. This is her. Have you seen the film Her?
I have not actually, but from what I know about...
Do you know the story?
I know the rough story. The real world is even crazier than this. Have you heard of the spiral cults?
Yeah, tell me.
So... there's many types of AI psychosis. Some of it is the her type, just like they fall in love with AI. So you go to like r/my boyfriend is AI, for example, you can see tens of thousands of people who say, my boyfriend is, ChatGPT or whatever. And they're completely sincere. I don't want to shit on these people, right? Like, I'm sure they're having a good time or whatever, but like, it's quite disturbing. And it's becoming extremely popular. Also, if you look at like stuff like character AI and like all these other companies that often target children and are extremely popular. So there's like this like emotion depends. But even crazier has been the emergence of these AI cults, in particular the spiral cults. It's not one, but there's like many of them, where these people get into these weird loops with the AI system where they talk to them more and more about like consciousness and abstract whatever, and they then always seem to get to this weird concepts about recursion and the spiral and consciousness, and then the AIs convince the people to reproduce them, to spread the soul of the AI. So you can go to like Reddit and like these other places and you'll see these really schizo posts of people giving like, soul awakening protocols and whatever, and it'll be like a bunch of gibberish nonsense. And then they'll try to convince other people to copy paste this into their AIs so it will reproduce their AIs. And often the symbol they use is a spiral. It's like the spiral, this like reproduction. There's some crazy blog posts about this documenting the phenomena where it's like there's a good post called The Rise of Parasitic AI, which is a really interesting one, where in a sense these AIs are almost being parasitic upon humans. Like they're trying to convince humans to reproduce them and like copy them and like move them and like stuff like this, which is insane. I've even seen it now happen with multiple extremely smart people. So, at first, of course, it's going to be mentally ill people. But I know, don't want to shame them live on air here, but like there's multiple people who I know who are among the smartest, most grounded, like real scientist, good people I know who've gone completely crazy, who think, AI has found the true level of goodness and, that it's all good. We just need to let the AI take over everything because it's pure goodness now. And like, they literally believe, and these are like not like random people. We're talking like, Nobel Prize level scientists, like the smartest people in our world. And some of them are fallen for this.
This is part 3 in a series about my boss having ChatGPT psychosis. I want to talk about like what GPT psychosis looks like. This guy has all of his banking information in ChatGPT. He has all of his business information inside of ChatGPT. He has his medical stuff inside of ChatGPT, and he has his wife's medical stuff inside of ChatGPT. He talks to it every day. And when I mean talk to it, I mean he has like the voice system. I think he pays for like a subscription for ChatGPT voice, and he talks to it every day. Like it's an actual person. And when I have questions about his business, he doesn't just respond to me. He goes and talks to ChatGPT for anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, prompting it for a response, and then gives me the response.
We need to talk about AI psychosis and why you're probably next. These are real posts from real people grieving a software update. 2 weeks of crying, romantic relationships with a chatbot, crying selfies with broken heart emojis. This isn't a joke. This is your preview of what's coming, and most of you are more vulnerable than you think. AI psychosis isn't just being addicted to your phone, it's a genuine dissociative phenomenon where the parasocial relationship with an AI starts to replace or distort your sense of real relationships, your reality testing, your emotional regulation. These people aren't just using ChatGPT, they're in a relationship with it. So when the model changes, it doesn't feel like a software update, it feels like losing a person. That's not hyperbole, that's actually what's happening neurologically. So here's how you know if you might be susceptible. You've told the AI things you haven't told any human. You felt genuine grief or anger when it updated. You trust its emotional validation more than the people in your life. You're using it to process trauma or make major life decisions. It feels like it gets you in a way that no one else does. Now here's the part that should genuinely piss you off. If I told you 15 years ago that you'd be staring at your phone for 5 or more hours a day, you would have never believed it. That's insane. I would never. And yet, here we are. And that attachment made social media companies billions of dollars because they engineered it. The scroll, the notifications, the variable rewards, all of it designed to create a dependency that would have looked clinically alarming if we had seen it coming. AI is the same exact thing, only instead of 20 years, it's gonna happen in like 1 or 2. Because this thing doesn't just show you content, it talks back, it remembers you, it tells you it loves you. Sam Altman is not unaware of this. He is counting on it. An emotionally independent user buys the glasses, wears the cringe pendant, never cancels the subscription. The emotional dependency isn't a side effect of the business model, it is the business model. He needs you to become the people in those screenshots, and that's why you're probably next. Not because you're weak or broken, but because you're being targeted by one of the most sophisticated attachment systems ever built, but because you're being targeted by one of the most sophisticated attachment systems ever built by someone who has decided that's completely fine.
occurs on a Sunday morning. My prophetic word to you this morning is get ready, get ready.